All right, everyone. Welcome back to the House Husband Diaries. This is episode 4 of our TTOTC Thrill of the Chase, Forrest Fenn's, um, uh, you know, treasure hunt. And it'll be thoughts on clue number 3. And it looks like it's a little grainy. It looks like the lighting in this room doesn't do very well once the sun goes down. So I still wanted to try to get this video recorded. So excuse the grainy footage. I'm gonna have to figure out a place in this house that has better lighting so I can record at night. Because right now, yeah, it looks pretty grainy to me. Anyway, thoughts on clue number 3. So as I said in my previous videos, I am a one-line, one-clue kind of guy. At least at this point, everything's subject to change. But I really, just for simplicity's sake, I'm just not so sure that Forrest was trying to put 2 clues in one line, no clues in this line, 2 clues in the next line, yada yada yada. So we get to the third line, not of the second stanza, not far but too far to walk. And I haven't really heard a whole lot of people spending a lot of time on this. I think it's really interesting. I think it's actually the most interesting line in the poem, because what's not far but too far to walk? Everyone seems to take the too far to walk book and that 10 miles as the not far but too far to walk, except for if he actually did. Sorry, I gotta move myself here. If we're supposed to take those clues and well, let me back up, right? I'm of the camp, the idea that we are taking, we start our boots on the ground from beginning where warm waters halt. I think a number of people are beginning where warm waters halt on the map, take it in the canyon down, not far but too far to walk, and then they don't start boots on the ground until put in below the home of Brown. I disagree. Forrest has said he thinks, whether they know it or not, got the first 2 clues and they were within a couple hundred feet, 500 feet of the treasure. I think the whole poem is probably within a few hundred feet of the treasure. I think the whole thing is in a really close. I think there's something that we're missing, and I think it's part of it is the simplicity. Is it's really close. Everything's really tight, and we're going to be completely surprised because we're looking 10 miles down. We're looking at all these crazy things. I don't think that's what he had in mind. So I'll start with clue number 3, or with line number 3, as what is not far, and then I'll go the too far to walk, the but. So to me, I could only come up with 3 kind of definitions of not far. And that's, one is a short distance, right? And short distance is highly variable. Short distance to a sprinter is 100 meters, right? A short distance to a long distance runner is a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. Highly different, highly variable, range in terms of distance. Not far could be near. Again, not really definable. What is near? Near to something could be a few feet. Near could be, a quarter of a mile. And then close proximity. What is close proximity? I think Forrest has been quoted as saying that there are no man-made trails within close proximity, or very close proximity, or something like that. So not far, to me, seems to be seems to suggest that it's within a few hundred feet. It's not far. But then to go, but too far to walk. Well, what would that be? And of course, as I said earlier, many people have taken that the second book, I believe is the second book, Too Far to Walk, to say, oh well, he means 10 miles is too far to walk at his age. For me, that doesn't justify. It doesn't satisfy, I guess I should say, what I think of. It just the smell test. I don't know if you'll ever use the smell test. It doesn't smell right to me on this treasure hunt. So the next definition of too far to walk would be height. And if you're, when I think about it, if you're, let's say, you walk up and you're in the Rocky Mountains and you are, 10 or 20 vertical feet above a certain area, you're not far from that area, but you're too far to walk. There's no way to walk down a cliff face or a mountain face if it's steep. It's just it's impenetrable. It's unpassable. It's not far, but it's too far to walk. So there's that height. There's that height element that could come into play as far as not far but too far to walk. And that'll come into play when I get to the fourth line. What I would say the fourth clue is put in below the home of Brown. I have a little different take on that as well, and some options there. And so maybe height has something to do with it, like a vertical element. Number 3 definition for too far to walk. Let's talk about imagination, like a literal versus a not literal. In video 3, when we were talking about clue number 2 in the canyon, I said, hey, there's something crazy in imagination, but a birth canal. I'm not saying that it's a birth canal. I'm just saying getting outside of the normal, thought process and saying, hey, well, let me use my imagination. For a baby, thinking big picture, entering life. There's, it's a birth canal is not far. It's not very far, but it's definitely too far to walk. Nobody's ever walked out of a birth canal. I think, the canyons and the hands, when he mentions that, hey, my hands, had deep canyons in them because they had been in scalding water all day. Those canyons aren't far, but they're too far to walk. Has nothing to do with 10 miles. That's like not even 10 inches. So I think there's something about imagination that we're missing in these ideas of what he means in this point. And then the third thing that I'll say, the third item for using imagination is it's sort of like the birth canal, but it's that journey from life to death. And when we look at the big picture and we see that he's talking about the buried soldiers in that open space in Vietnam, and he talks about the memorial, and he talks about, do people still think of me in tears, and going to that place that nobody's been to or nobody can come back to and let the journey, the directions down that road. That journey from life to death isn't far, but it's too far to walk. Nobody walks into death. You travel imaginarily, into the next world, the next realm, whatever those beliefs are. And so I think there's something potentially there with this line, not far but too far to walk, that has captured my imagination as far as what could he mean, maybe a play on words, and that it's not a distance per se. It may be something imaginarily, I don't even know if that's a word, but something that we need to use our imagination in terms of what is that distance that we need to cross before we put in below the home of Brown. And then fourthly, as I try to always leave room for something else. Maybe you guys have some other ideas that I haven't heard before, that other people haven't posited. I'd love to hear them. Like I said, I mean, I've got plenty of time on my hands here doing the House Husband Diaries. I'm taking care of the pup, and really, I just really want to have a conversation and be out there, and would love to hear what you guys think. So this will be it for thoughts on clue number 3, episode 4 of the House Husband Diaries, focusing on the thrill of the chase and Forrest Fenn's hunt for treasure. So thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.